Primetime News. Christopher Dudus been captured.
The West Kingston fugitive was picked up late this afternoon at Ferry, St. Catherine, and is now in the custody of the police. Carrie-Ann Lee.
The rumor turned out to be true. Dudus had indeed been captured. The man who held the entire corporate area to ransom for a week and has been on the run for at least another 3 was picked up on the Mandela Highway in St. Catherine this afternoon. Reliable police sources say he appeared to have been coming in from the country. Exactly where is not yet apparent. The police say, acting on intelligence, they intercepted the vehicle near the Hydel group of schools. It would appear Dudus was heading into Kingston. He was in the company of popular pastor Al Miller. We understand the police had set up a spot-check dragnet along the Mandela Highway in the bid to nab him. When they finally got the right vehicle, it was the Spanish Town police which brought him in. This was a scene outside the station as news spread. The police high command is now preparing to meet with the DPP to have the extradition process completed as soon as possible. Dudus is wanted in the United States for drug trafficking and gun running. He faces 41 indictments and is wanted for extradition. The attempt to arrest him on May 24 in honor of an extradition warrant proved futile and deadly. Over 60 people were killed as the security forces faced off with gunmen in Dudus's Tivoli Gardens, where thugs had barricaded themselves in, vowing to defend the area leader at all cost. Dudus eluded the dragnet and had been on the run until this afternoon. Carrie-Ann Lee for TVJ News.
And the police have asked Rev Al Miller to immediately turn himself in at any police station along with his lawyer for questioning. The police say he's a major person of interest. Keneal Gale reports.
Rev Al Miller has figured heavily in the Dudus saga since the Labor Day operation in Tivoli. From the day Dudus went on the run, Rev Miller had said he would make himself available if the fugitive wanted to turn himself in. He stated a few times that he had been in touch with the fugitive, and today, after having been caught with the accused drug lord, the Reverend said Dudus was on his way to turn himself in.
We made contact earlier today, and that he was prepared to, he wanted to end this whole situation in the best interest of the country, of himself, and about the whole situation, and so he was committing himself to submit himself to the process, and so we were on the way to take him in. He was going ready to waive his extradition, he waive his rights, and be committed to the U.S. to the U.S. process, and face that. And he figured that that was the best thing to do.
Reverend Miller said Dudus had asked him to accompany him to the U.S. Embassy, and that's when he was caught in the police dragnet. Reverend Miller said he was concerned when the fugitive was taken from him because Dudus did not want to be taken into the custody of the local police. Reverend Miller said the police assured him that he could accompany Dudus to the police station, but then he was prevented.
I stated them absolutely clearly, you know, and that's where we were going, and that I should accompany them and complete the journey, but they acted otherwise. I'm actually quite against what they showed, as far as I'm concerned, and they insisted that they would take him, and so they took him, and then they turned in a direction that did not permit me to follow.
Reverend Miller said while speaking to Dudus about turning himself in, he expressed concern about the people in West Kingston who were killed in the security forces operation. The Reverend said he hoped there would be due process. Reverend Miller was the one who turned Dudus's brother Leighton Liberty Coke in on June 1, when the police named him as the second most wanted man in the country. 3 days later, when Dudus's sister Sandy Coke surrendered to the police, she was also in the company of Al Miller. The police now want the pastor to come in for questioning. They dub him a major person of interest. Keneal Gale, TVJ News.
The police high command confirmed the details of the capture and addressed many of the attendant details at a press briefing this evening at the police commissioner's office. Nadine McLeod was there.
At the hastily called press conference, Police Commissioner Owen Ellington uttered the words many Jamaicans were desperate to hear.
The security forces wish to confirm reports that Christopher Lloyd Cook, in respect of whom the police are holding a warrant of arrest for the commencement of extradition proceedings, was arrested this afternoon at 4.
A police party manning a roadblock along Mandela Highway picked up the fugitive. The police also confirmed that the Reverend Al Miller was with coke at the time of his arrest, but police on the scene allowed Reverend Miller to go. But the commissioner said they are investigating the circumstances surrounding that decision. Reverend Miller appears to be in serious trouble based on what the commissioner had to say.
I spoke with all my senior officers and I asked each individually if they were party to any discussion or agreement for the bypassing of the legal processes for coke to be turned over to U.S. Marshals. Each officer responded in the negative. I would like to have Mr. Miller in so that we can have discussions with him, and would advise him to have his attorneys accompany him.
They are now asking Al Miller to turn himself in as soon as possible to any police station. A court date for coke could be arranged within the next 48 hours. Meanwhile, the police high command raised the threat level this afternoon to heights seen on May 24 when the operation in Tivoli Gardens started. The police are also assuring the public that they have been taking steps to ensure the nation's security at this crucial time. Nadine McLeod, TVJ News.
And the police have upped the threat level in the wake of the arrest. The police believe the threat of criminal violence against their members and assets is now extremely high. This raising of the threat level indicates that the police are anticipating imminent violent attacks on their members as well as their physical assets. The police say the move is based on intelligence received that criminals as well as other groups are planning attacks. The police high command is urging all members to take seriously this threat assessment and raise their level of awareness and anticipation on and off duty. Deployments must not fall below defensive levels, and personnel should be prepared to act swiftly and decisively in defense of themselves and colleagues. The police high command wishes to assure all members that they have the full backing of the high command in any lawful action taken to defend themselves and citizens of Jamaica. At the same time, the high command is reminding criminal elements and those who sympathize with them that the police remain undeterred in the fight to defeat organized crime.
Meanwhile, Tivoli Gardens is calm this evening following the arrest of the former enforcer. Dashan Hendricks was in the community a short while ago.
After news broke that the police had Mr. Christopher Dudus Coke in custody, we ventured into his Tivoli stronghold to get a reaction from the people to that development.
In a way, I feel bad. So them have him because we are missing a lot right now. In send enough for the children them to school, the homeless them in our home, all of who is without food and all of that. And him provide it. Right now, you have a goal age for all of the old people them. Him keep them wealthy and all of that.
I think he did it for his people. Yes, because he know that the state of emergency was going to extend, and maybe he's saying that that is not good for us, so he's just giving himself to the police.
I'm glad he's okay, because if they had seen him earlier, they would have killed him. And everybody perfect, but my Presley is today, and him are the best, was the best, and he is the best, and forever will be the best.
So mixed reactions are there from the people of Tivoli on Christopher Dudus Coke being in police custody right now at this moment. We tried to speak to his mother as well, who lives in this building behind us, but we were told that she will not be speaking to the media. Dashan Hendricks, TVJ News.
And to talk to us about some of the broader issues, the Minister of National Security, Dwight Nelson, Senator, joins us live on the telephone. Good evening, Mr. Nelson.
Good evening, Michael.
Your reaction to what we have all just heard?
Well, first of all, let me say that it reduces or eliminates a lot of the anxieties, a lot of the apprehension which exists in the society arising out of the failure up to now of the security forces to apprehend Mr. Coke, and for this reason I'm relieved, because we can continue normalcy as we know it.
Interestingly enough, while you say it has reduced